If you've been looking for an electric vehicle that doesn't look like a generic wind tunnel molded jelly bean, the Polestar 4 has probably been haunting your search history. In a 2026 market that is absolutely saturated with Tesla Model Y clones and safe crossovers, Polestar has decided to throw the rulebook out of the window, literally. I've been spending a lot of time with the Polestar lineup lately. And while the Polestar 2 is the one you see on every street corner, the Polestar 4 is the one that actually makes people stop and stare. It occupies this weird, beautiful, in-between space. It's not quite a sedan, but it's not a full-blown crossover either. It's like a small crossover, and a huge sedan had a baby, and the designers cooked until they came up with something that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. But here's the exposed truth. Looking cool is one thing, but living with a $62,000 machine in the real world is another. Today, we are breaking down the 5 pros and 5 cons of the new Polestar 4. This is the honest, no hype review for the tech bros and the truck folk who are considering making the jump to something unique. I'm Nick, this is Nick's Car Review, and let's get into the pros first. Pro number 1. Let's be real, the number one reason you're looking at this car is the way it looks. The designers at Polestar deserve a massive raise because they have created the most striking silhouette of 2026. Most EVs are designed by computers to be as slippery as possible, which usually results in boring shapes. But the Polestar 4 manages to be aerodynamic while looking aggressive and premium. It has a low-slung roofline, wide hips, and a stance that makes it look like it's hugging the road even when it's parked. In a sea of white Model Ys, the Polestar 4 is the visual alpha. If you want a car that makes you look back every time you walk away from it in a parking lot, this is the one. Pro number 2. This isn't just a pretty face. The dual motor all-wheel drive setup in the Polestar 4 is genuinely rocket ship quick. We're talking about a 0 to 60 time in the mid 3-second range. When you're in performance mode, the power delivery is instant and violent in the best way possible. The exposed tech secret here is how the motors work together. While some EVs feel like they're stretching to hit high speeds, the Polestar 4 feels like it has endless reserves of torque. Whether you're merging onto a busy California freeway or carving up a back road, this car has the muscle to back up its futuristic looks. Pro number 3. If the exterior is the hook, the interior is the sinker. Polestar is moving away from the minimalist trap that Tesla fell into. Instead, they are using high-end, sustainable materials that feel expensive. The textiles, the fit and finish, and the overall vibe of the cabin make it feel like a luxury lounge rather than a computer lab. The speakers are another high point. While they aren't quite the Volvo EX90 level of concert hall quality yet, they are significantly better than what you'll find in almost any other car at this price point. It's a space you actually want to spend time in, which is a rare thing in the appliance era of EVs. Pro number 4. One of the biggest pros of the Polestar 4 is that it doesn't try to be everything to everyone. By sitting in that huge sedan, small crossover hybrid space, it offers a driving position that is higher than a Model 3, but lower and more sporty than a Model Y. For the person who hates the minivan feel of modern SUVs, but wants more utility than a traditional sedan, the Polestar 4 is a perfect middle ground. It's a Tech Maverick choice that tells the world you didn't just buy the default option. Pro number 5. Since this is a 2026 model, the software integration is finally where it needs to be. Polestar uses Google built-in, and it is one of the most intuitive systems on the market. You get native Google Maps with battery preconditioning that actually works, a voice assistant that can control the climate, and a UI that is snappy and high definition. You don't need a phone mount, and you don't need to fight with glitchy screen mirroring. It just works. All right. We've talked about the hype. The design is a 10, the speed is a 10, and the interior is a vibe. But now we have to get into the exposed reality. When I review a car, I always ask myself one simple question. Would I tell my best friend to spend their hard-earned money on this? And as we sit here in 2026, despite all the things I love about the Polestar 4, there are some massive red flags that make it very hard to give it a full recommendation. If you're a truck folk buyer used to a vehicle that just works, or a tech bro who expects the absolute peak of efficiency, These 5 cons are gonna be a tough pill to swallow. Let's get into the cons of the Polestar 4. Con number 1. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of a window in the back of the room. The Polestar 4 has no rear glass. None. Zero. The roofline slopes down so aggressively for aerodynamics that Polestar just decided to delete the back window entirely. Instead, you get a digital rear view mirror that shows a camera feed from the roof. Now, Polestar will tell you this is innovation, but for the average driver, it's a massive adjustment. Digital mirrors can be weird for your eyes to focus on, and if that camera gets covered in mud, snow, or road salt during a Massachusetts winter, you are effectively driving blind to the rear. In 2026, we've seen a lot of tech for tech's sake, and this feels like one of those moments where design won and common sense lost. It makes the cabin feel a bit claustrophobic for rear passengers, and it's a deal breaker for anyone who doesn't trust a screen to replace a piece of glass. Con number 2. This is the big one. This is the exposed math that actually makes me angry. The Polestar 4 is packed with a massive 100 kilowatt-hour battery pack. In 2026, a battery that size should be delivering 350 to 400 miles of range. But the Polestar 4 only has an EPA rating of about 280 miles. But wait, it gets worse. In the real world, especially if you're driving in range mode, I've seen that number dip closer to 200 miles. How can I recommend a $62,000 car in 2026 that only gets 200 miles of real-world range on a single charge? There are cars with batteries 25% smaller that get 75 miles more range than this car. Polestar needs to stop cooking the design for a second and start cooking the efficiency. You're hauling around a massive, heavy battery, but not getting the distance to show for it. That is a math problem that doesn't add up. Con number 3. While we're talking about range, let's talk about how the car drives when you're trying to save power. To eke out those miles, the car will often disconnect the front motor and run in rear-wheel drive. The problem? When you're in range mode and you suddenly need to pin it to merge or avoid an obstacle, there is a noticeable hesitation. It takes a second for the car to realize you need power, re-engage the front axle, and then give you that rocket ship speed. In performance mode, it's instant, but you're killing your battery. In range mode, it feels like the car is thinking before it acts. In 2026, when rivals have seamless motor transitions, this lag feels a bit old tech. Con number 4. In 2024, 200 kilowatt charging was impressive. In 2026, it's just okay. While the Polestar 4 can charge at up to 200 kilowatts, we are now seeing the kings of the market, the Hyundais, the Kias, and even the new Lucids, hitting 350 kilowatts or higher on 800 volt systems. Because the Polestar is less efficient, you're putting more electrons in just to go the same distance as a competitor. That means you're spending more time at the charger. If you're on a road trip, that 100 kilowatt hour battery is a blessing for capacity, but a curse for charging time. You're gonna be sitting at that Electrify America station a lot longer than the guy in the Ioniq 6 next to you. Con number 5. Finally, we have to talk about the price. At $62,000, the Polestar 4 is entering a danger zone. It's more expensive than a Tesla Model Y Performance, and it's pushing into the territory of the Rivian R2 and the Cadillac Lyriq. The Polestar 4 is beautiful, but it's an in-betweener. It doesn't have the utility of a full SUV, and it doesn't have the efficiency of a sleek sedan. It's a luxury fashion statement in a market that is increasingly demanding practical value. If you value aesthetics over everything else, the price makes sense. But if you're looking at the math per mile, it's a tough sell. So, what is the final verdict on the Polestar 4 inches 2026? It is, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful cars on the road. Polestar's designers have cooked up a masterpiece that makes every other EV look dated. If you want a car that feels like a piece of rolling art, this is it. But, and it's a big but, you have to be willing to live with the compromises. You have to be okay with having no back window. You have to be okay with an efficiency rating that is, frankly, exposed as bottom tier for 2026. And you have to be okay with a $62,000 price tag for a car that might struggle to hit 250 miles on a cold day. My advice to Polestar: keep the designers, keep the materials, but for the love of everything, find some more efficiency. If this car had 350 miles of real-world range, I'd be telling everyone to go buy one tomorrow. But as it stands, it's a car I like, but can't quite recommend. I want to hear from you in the comments. Does the design of the Polestar 4 outweigh the lack of range for you? Would you be willing to trade a back window for that sci-fi look? Let me know. I read every single comment, and I want to see if you're a specs person or a style person. I'm Nick. This is Nick's Car Review, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.